Let's do this for Fallon. Why not?
Why not?
He already knows
Oh boy, Iraq is like, oh god.
You could do this in front of Fallon, right?
Oh man, he just like made his eyes real wide.
It's an A and B conversation.
What's going on in your head?
Oh,
You don't like that, Jim?
oh, it's the worst. I hate Valley.
Well, guys, the virus has a really bad Sandusky joke.
Oh,
All right.
whoa.
Well, let's hear this, Virus.
Let her rip, Virus.
Wait, you forgot the joke?
No.
You gotta reset it up.
No.
What is Jerry Sandusky's favorite kids show?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with his life. I don't know what his life is.
Hold on.
Oh, he might.
We gotta have.
Hey, there he
Jimmy.
is.
We gotta have Jimmy Fallon involved with this.
Jimmy.
Wherever you feel comfortable,
take
sir.
a seat.
You're a little late, which we don't give a fuck about. So we're in the middle of a bit, and now we want you to be part of this little bit. It's a terrific fucking bit we do from time to time.
Sorry about the small studio.
Yeah.
You were just in the lap of luxury over there.
I love it in here.
We
This is
get
perfect
this.
in here. This is all you need. This is a good bit. How you doing? bud?
Yeah. This is.
You're going to be really disappointed. He does a character called the Virus, and he's a up-and-coming comic, and all we ask from him is to do one punchline.
On a topical subject like the Sandusky trial.
Kind of like
know?
what you do every night.
Yeah,
Topical
yeah.
Of
humor.
course. Topical humor.
And all he
Every
has to
night.
do is one punchline.
And that's all we ask him for is one.
Right.
Just one.
Just one on the Sandusky thing.
Oh, the guitar.
So why don't we play your music again there, Virus?
All right.
Quick, it's got to be TV clean though.
You like it? It's so
Is it a walking
stupid.
elephant or something?
Yeah.
Well, we think he's fat.
He is a little chubby.
He's a little chubby. We all see it. All right, go ahead.
The
Eli.
virus.
Yeah. And he does a
Hurry
wacky.
up, come
He
on.
does a wacky voice, so don't be alarmed.
Fallon might steal this. You never know. Or have you come on the show and do it.
I wish he would.
Sandusky.
Yeah. Sandusky.
Hi guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Virus, what's going on?
You know,
Jimmy Fallon just shook his head.
Turned away.
Oh,
He's
boy.
embarrassed.
Oh boy.
Why the voice?
Yeah. What is that voice?
We forced him
It's
to.
like a Muppet. Yeah.
We forced him to do this voice too, Jim.
Muppet.
That's it, yeah.
It's terrible.
All right, go ahead. Hi,
go
hi,
ahead.
guys. It's
Do I
good.
look at him or just listen?
Whichever you can stomach.
Yeah.
It's usually one
looking
or the
away.
other. Both are an impossibility.
All right. Getting a little warm. I see you undid your sweatshirt.
I'm very sweaty.
You're uncomfortable.
All right, Sandusky, come on. Give us one punchline, one joke.
Hey, guys. Do you know what Jerry Sandusky's favorite kids show is?
What?
Oh.
His favorite kid show? No, we don't know, Virus.
His favorite kid show.
Yo, grabba, grabba.
All right, get out.
Jesus. That's
Welcome to
terrible.
the show.
Sorry about that.
Jimmy Fallon.
Very
Yes.
I'll give it up for him just because.
Jimmy,
Very
yeah.
uncomfortable. I'm really sorry you had to hear that.
Yo, grab a.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good. I got a laugh out of it,
He
right?
did come out with it.
Yeah, I just said it louder. than
Yeah.
the virus. I took the virus joke. You got to laugh. I'm going to
More
steal
the
that.
virus
Yo,
ever
grab
gets.
a.
Actually,
Yeah,
that,
should.
actually, that one was too good for the Virus.
It was a little too good.
Yeah.
What is that thing you have?
Upset me.
This thing?
That's
It's
his harmonica.
It's a
Oh.
harmonica. It's like
You ever see Bob Dylan?
Yes.
He wears one of those little
Yeah.
harmonica
those
thing.
folk
Oh, you
guys
wear it on
do
your on your neck.
Yeah, yeah.
How
man.
long have you been playing? What do you play like your whole life? Guitar and shit?
I think I
when-
started like
you were
when
a
I was
kid?
like 13. I want to say
Really?
I'm making up. There's probably I should do research on this because
Was it a passion for music or chicks?
it was you wanted to be a rock star. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was girls, and it's like I started playing piano. My sister played piano. I started doing that, and that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then I picked up clarinet.
Oh, you can't rock with a clarinet.
That's just the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you jam out? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you guys know any Benny Goodman?
You guys playing over at the garage? Yeah, I'll
that's
come
it.
over. I'll bring my clarinet.
Yeah, play my
Yes.
clarinet. Like, get lost.
I love
learned
Woody
some
Allen.
Zeppelin.
Not his comedy, but his music.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw Woody Allen.
Where with one of the hotels, right?
Yeah, at the Carlisle or where
Yeah.
is that where he does?
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's
just
fantastic.
seeing him.
That's what everyone
It's
says.
like
It's like he
his
has
jazz
like a
band.
jazz band, almost like a big band type
Yeah.
of thing. It's really like a Dixieland type of thing.
Wow,
And
that's so
it's
weird.
great. And I talked to him afterwards just because I wanted. So I saw him afterwards. I go, oh, that was great. I didn't know that because you can get different notes from the clarinet. I go when you go down, you get one note it's like, and then when you go up, it's more of a tenor thing.
Oh, that's weird.
He goes, you know, when I went up, that was for you.
Oh, wow.
Give me a break, really? Yeah, like he knew he's probably said that 1,000 times.
Now, he doesn't do it, but did you try to get him on the show? He's almost impossible to book, obviously.
I don't try to do that.
Yeah.
You don't try to book guests when you're out?
I don't.
But you would love to have Woody on your show, though.
I'd love to have Woody on the show, yeah. I mean, we probably will. It's like, I remember, like, there was some show or something on the 8th floor by Saturday Night Live, and the booker always kept trying to get me on the show every day because they were on the same floor. And I was like, now I'm not going to do it.
Shit.
I was thinking about doing it, but now it's just so annoying. That's not fun. I don't feel like I want to do this. So I on our show, I'm just like, hey, if you want to come on, just ask us. And
was he in which room was Woody in? Because there's two at the Carlisle. When you first walk in to your right,
you're right.
There's a room where there's a stage, and then there's a lounge where there's like a piano in the middle of the room.
What are you going to rob the place?
Well, yeah, Jason
knows the whole layout.
In and out, nobody gets hurt.
There's a vent that leads up to the 3rd floor. There's a safe in the wall.
We'll take that clarinet and we'll sell it on eBay.
There's a picture of JFK and there's a picture of Jackie coming out of the clarinet. That was, by the way, the last place that Mimi Beardsley had sex with JFK was in the Carlisle the week before he was assassinated.
Oh.
The woman who had the 18-month affair with Kennedy.
The intern.
Kept her mouth shut.
18-year-old intern that kept her mouth shut for
Jackie
good
Kennedy
old
lived
days.
there.
50 years or something.
When they used to, shut up.
Right.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Who did you used to listen to when you first started playing guitar and stuff? Like who was like, I want to be like that?
Well, I think you start off like Roy Orbison was a big thing.
Really?
That was like I don't know why. That was just
that's kind of an. I mean, Roy Orbison was great, but it's kind of an odd thing to.
But I don't know that maybe it was because it was like he would sing real like he was like the operatic sing like
yeah.
I remember just like going like, wow,
that's a powerful voice.
I didn't see that ending coming at all.
It just keeps going up and up.
This is
how the hell are you
insane.
doing
This
that?
is like my first opera or something. I didn't know Roy could do this.
Yeah. I only get my opera from the J.G. Wentworth commercials. That's like pretty much. That's all. That's the only opera. I feel I'm a little more cultured
from that. Yeah. So I got into that and then when I started playing guitar, Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen.
Okay,
when you get I started with an electric guitar because that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It turns out you got to start with an acoustic so you know what's going on and. Then you get into the electric.
Yeah,
so I got electric first, and I would just play like chords, and I play Wipeout. That was the only song I knew how to play. And I remember I went to my friend's party, had I think it was like a Sweet 16 party or something like that. Do guys have those parties?
No, not really.
Some, perhaps.
Anyways, well, this guy was just me and him in his room. No, I'm just kidding. He had a giant, big Sweet 16 party. So he was just a nice guy, and he had a band and all this stuff. And his parents threw him this big, giant party like they do on MTV.
Right. Yeah.
And the band was like, he was like, my friend plays guitar, and I was like, no, well, not really. I mean, I have one, but I don't. And so, but the one song I knew was Wipeout, and I got up and I played Wipeout with the band, and I was
you were a rock star,
15 or something, and I was like,
man,
that was super cool. It was like in front of it was just spare of the moment, and it was like, that was the first night I ever heard Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
15, wow.
Yeah.
And when you got done, were people coming up and going, man, that rocked. You sounded good. And you're like, that's it. I'm cooked.
Oh, yeah. Those
just
girls
done.
and everything. That was awesome. Yeah, that was it. Then I go, I'm sold on guitar.
Wow. Over the years, you play with so many famous people now from SNL and your show. Who was the first one you remember going like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm playing with this person?
Probably MTV Awards I hosted in James Brown. I sang with James Brown.
That's huge. Okay. Pretty legendary.
Yeah, I asked, because we were doing this big whole thing. We were doing impressions of a bunch of different musicians. And then at the end, I was like, I don't know how to end it. I'm like, maybe I'm exhausted. And then you hear get up. And I go, who's saying that? And it's like, get up. And I go, what is that? Who's saying that? And then he walks out and he goes, get up, get on up, and then everyone got. So he did that.
Wow,
but
man,
just the fact that it was Tom Calderone over at I was at VH1, but he flew to James Brown's house and he came over and he said, okay, here's the deal, Jimmy. When James Brown comes, you can't call him James, you can't call him Mr. Brown, you have to call him Mr. James Brown, or else he'll walk. Or he's going to walk. I go, all right, okay.
All right, let me write that down.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't want to lose this. The end of my whole bit. This is the one. So he comes in, and everyone's like, he got his dressing room, whatever he wants in his dressing room, and all this stuff. And he walks in. I go, hello, Mr. James Brown. He goes, call me James. Of course. I go,
of course,
the nicest guy. Right. And then he was game to do whatever. He's like, oh, I'll walk out then. And
oh man,
do you think that was a publicist overthinking it, or was that him like probably from years of being treated like shit?
That'd be a great joke to play on people, though, to make sure that your guy tells everyone, make sure you call him this, and then just go, nah, call me.
Yeah,
it's a great way to.
But it puts you're off a little bit, because I was like so nervous. So maybe I guess it's a check, to see if you're going to be respectful or not.
Fast forward, when you performed with McCartney, you had to be shitting yourself.
Well, here's what happened with this. This is a true story. So I go to pre-interview Paul McCartney. He's going to come on my show, and I'm just excited that he's coming on.
Right.
How long before the show do you pre-interview him? Is it that day, or is it like a week before?
It's that day.
Okay.
So that day I go to see him. He's at Saturday Night Live up in his dressing room. He's the nicest guy, and you go in, and he's like, "Come on, Lee, come on." I go, Paul. I go, I'm so psyched you're going to come on the show. And I go, I actually wrote a sketch if you want. He goes, I think we'll just do a quick chat. It'll be a fun chat.
Oh yeah.
And I go, yeah, okay, that'd be great too. I mean, we could do that as well. I got just questions like, yeah, we'll just have a loose chat. It'll be fun. I go, great. And I go, but we wrote this piece, and he's like, no, we'll just do a quick chat and we'll have fun,
Oh, man.
It'll be good. And I go, it's called Scrambled Eggs. And it's about when you wrote yesterday, you wrote Scrambled Eggs. Oh, my lady, how I love your legs. That was the original. He goes, I know that. I wrote it. And I go, well, I have like you singing, like our writer on the show, Mike DeCenzo, wrote out the whole song as if you did write the song about scrambled eggs. He's like, okay, just do it. So I just did it in his dressing room. So I'm like, scrambled eggs. Oh, my lady, how I love your legs, but not as much as I love scrambled eggs. Oh, have you tried scrambled eggs? And then cut to his head is over my shoulder reading the lyrics like, waffle fries. And he's laughing. And I go, oh, of course. I go, you're going to do this? And he goes, oh, only if you do it with me.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, then I just passed out.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go in to pitch him a duet.
Right.
I wouldn't even think to do that.
Him over your shoulder singing in your ear.
It's the craziest thing in the world.
It would have been great if you went, Paul, please.
Hey,
I'm unfinished.
Not over my shoulder.
I'm not done.
My point is, you've seen a lot in your career, but I can't imagine you could wrap your head around that. It's Paul McCartney.
It's really it's bizarre, and of course when we were trying rehearsing it, I tried to harmonize.
Right.
And I started harmonizing, and it was awful.
Oh no!
And he goes, you don't have to do that.
You're right. No.
But then
a little red.
But then on air, I felt it, and I was like, I think I can do it, and I did it on air.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Of course.
Wow, that's ballsy though. Like on air.
I just felt it. I felt like it was gonna. I was like, we were getting the thing. The crowd was feeding off the crowd, and it was good. And it was a good take. And
I know where this is.
I could probably. I
could find this one.
Yeah. I think I can do this one pretty good. And so that was just it was one of those moments where you go like, I don't know if I'm gonna realize that this happened now.
Yeah.
Or in years to come.
That's great,
so
man.
I think that's kind of when we thought we should put a record out or an album, not a record. Gosh,
a record.
We're gonna put a record out.
Some hot wax.
We're getting the band together. We're gonna put everything out. So we started thinking about that. So then then it's all you got to get clearance and all that stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, it's got to take a while to. A lot of guys.
Yeah, I mean, because we did a slow jam. The news. It's on the record with Brian Williams, but after we did the record, we ended up doing one with the president.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'd love to have that on the record, but it will take a year to get.
Which one will be hard? The president one?
Oh, Brian Williams one will be.
Brian.
No.
Oh
yeah. Brian Williams.
You
very
think Obama's
difficult.
a public figure that you could do that though? I guess not.
No.
You got to go through some
So I
hoops.
can't even. Yeah, it's tough to even get a photo.
We should.
Was it really?
Yeah.
When you were there?
Oh, really? You could.
It's tough because it has to come through the White House photographer.
I got to.
Yeah, they don't want a wacky picture of him with his mouth open, sneezing.
If you get your cell phone out, you're like, I can probably sneak one of like Abe Lincoln's teacups or that he used to use. And as soon as there's guys going,
they're on you.
Hey, how you doing? What do you got there?
Yeah, so it's like you just feel like you don't belong. So you don't sneak pictures at the White House.
Oh, so when you wanted when you had him on the show, that you got a photo. I would hope.
Well, yeah, I mean, he eventually sent me, but it took a couple months to.
Because it's the White House guy. It's not like the.
It's not like
it's not your guy.
Yeah, it's not my guy. It's the White House guy, and it has to go through their clearances and all that stuff. And you don't tweet about it and all that stuff. Which, by the way, thanks for the tweet.
That was
the other day
an accident.
Which one?
Gosh.
I was doing a timeline joke.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I got Fallon. I said the guy right below me really loves anal sex.
Right.
And I tweeted right before. I tweeted right after.
It was a mistake.
And I go, oh, and
that was a coincidence.
Like,
I swear.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And I go, oh,
it's a dumb timeline joke that you got caught up in.
No, I was laughing because everyone started sending me. I go, oh, great. Well, I'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about that.
Great.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I love anal.
It's just a dumb timeline joke.
Hey, when you first started the show, it's very difficult to get traction on late night talk. I mean, obviously there have been so many people that have just failed. When did you start saying like, "Oh boy, I think we got this. I think we're on"? Because you're definitely you're one of the players now on late night. You are. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun to watch. When did you know that I think we got something?
I mean.
Or you're still worried?
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I think when I just stopped worrying about time and going to commercial and hitting all the points and
the technical stuff is all in your head and not so much of the artistic part of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's having a conversation is what it really is, and that's what all the advice books say and all the people that you ask tell you. Just have a conversation, but you can't just. It's just weird. You just can't just do that.
Right.
It's just, you're like, oh, driving a car is easy. You just press the gas and you go.
But one day,
then you're driving
into a pole.
I don't know. Yeah, you hit the pole and you go.
But you're smart though. I'm sorry, but you guys you and Kim will use the internet and you use Twitter and you use all this social networking stuff, which it makes you relevant to young people. It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, because we're on so late. I think a lot of people see us more on the web even sometimes.
Well, Leno and Letterman don't really capitalize on Twitter. And
I don't even know how much Conan does. Conan's really funny on Twitter, but I don't know how much he uses. I haven't watched the show. How much internet he uses, or how
Leno
much...
just kind of plugs. But I mean,
I feel like it
Jimmy
wouldn't
owns
even fit them. That just like
right.
It wouldn't make sense. It's more fun for Letterman to play I don't know what this is.
The old curmudgeon.
An iPod, I don't know what this is. Wait.
Yeah, what?
So one day you just relax. It goes back to me and Ann had a conversation. We were failing miserably when we first came to New York. That it wasn't happening. And one day we just talked to each other and said, look, we have nothing to lose now, man. Because we were worried about introing records and all that other horseshit like you're saying.
Yeah, just exactly.
And we had this dumb conversation on the way home, we have nothing to lose now. Let's go in there tomorrow and just fucking talk. And guess what? We hit.
And that was the thing. But
the first 6 months, no one gave a shit about us at all in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, the critics were they were pretty good to me. They were like, look, it's not awful.
You're like, yes, we're not awful.
Yes, I can live with that.
I can see with this not being a thing, but
it's not awful.
But we did Slow Jam, the news. We did our first show. That was one of our first bits.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, and who was it?
Just me.
Oh,
it was just me and the Roots, and then we tried it with P. Diddy. And that was fun. And then Brian Williams came on. We asked him if he'd do it. And then we had a whole run with Brian Williams where he was great.
When you pitched to Obama, when you want to do a bit with the president, do you you obviously submit it way before the White House. Was there anything you wanted to do that they said no to? Or was this the first idea they're like, sure, it sounds good?
Well, I mean, just knowing from Saturday Night Live, where you can push people and how far and what is it worth it and all that stuff. And you don't want to, it's the president. So I want to be, as classy as we can with that bit. But I think there was one joke we had, I said POTUS. What does that stand for? Person of the, something unanimous sexuality or something, or sexualness, or something like that, or unusual sexualness. And they were just like, yeah, no.
Oh, no.
We're not. Oh, he didn't even get it. They didn't even
wrestle you to the ground.
Right?
They wrestle you.
Pull the fucking sheet out of your hand, wrestle to the ground.
Yeah. It was they sent an email. Go, no, just don't. Everything else is good, but just change that. So we just changed it.
When he comes in day of to perform, I mean, obviously there's a security lockdown, only people who need to be there. But how far in advance does he get there? Or do you go over the bit with him first? Do you walk into the dressing room or green room?
He has it, but and then they have you meet him by yourself. At the loading dock. So I had to meet him. So I met the president, and no assistants, no stage manager, no my wife, nobody.
Wow.
So I go, So I go, okay, I'm meeting by myself.
My buddy from college.
Yeah,
They want to do some pictures. Can you sign some stuff?
So you know what I did? I printed out a paper that said President Obama written like, you know, the limo drivers
like the
at the
limo
airport.
drivers, yeah.
And I just held it. I was like, waving at him. Hey, I go, how you doing, Mr. President? I'm Marcus. I'm your escort. If you need anything, he's laughing right off the bat.
He got the joke.
Yeah. And then he went over it, and he goes, all right, we're gonna slow jam. And so I showed him my rehearsal, and then at the end of Slow Jam, you know, usually Brian Williams says, like, he goes like, oh, yeah. It's basically just saying the basic news, but in an R&B type of sexual, undertone to the normal news. No real hard jokes in there. Just so at the end, usually Brian Williams goes, oh, yeah. And so Obama's rehearsing, and President Obama's rehearsing, and he goes, oh, yeah. Come on, can't you give me a little, oh, yeah. He goes, oh, yeah. And I go, can't you? He goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do, oh, yeah. I go, just give me a little spice, can't you? He goes, no.
So you said that to him, he said no? Wow.
Yeah.
No spice.
He's a good...
You really have to be on your guard at all times when you're the president. It's just... People are just looking
loosen
all
up,
the
really.
time. And if you loosen up, you're looked at as, what, weak?
Right.
I mean, come
But
on.
he didn't, what he called, he didn't, he didn't go over any of the pre-questions. Like, I didn't know what he was going to say.
Wow.
Like, he didn't even know what I was going to ask, I don't think. He's just good.
They just trust that you're going to be somewhat respectful, and he's fast enough on his feet.
He's really good.
probably
He's quick.
smart
He's a
dude.
great...
There was a Secret Service guy with crosshairs on your head the whole time. If
Well,
he goes into a
Secret
joke,
Service, I got into that. I asked, that's where he said he called them knuckleheads.
Right.
He goes,
Because of
"Don't
what
let
happened?
Yeah, he goes, don't let a couple knuckleheads ruin what great service they do for
Wow.
us. And it was like, he could have easily told me not to ask about that.
Yeah,
He was
true.
cool with all that. In the commercial break, he goes, because at the end of the Slow Jam, he pulled the microphone up and just dropped it. Like Eminem from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
And I go, and so we're in commercial break. He goes, did you see how I dropped the mic?
oh, man.
Yeah. I saw you. It was very funny. He goes, I improvised that.
You should have scolded him. Like, that was very inappropriate.
You know, you're going to pay for that, sir.
That's
great.
pretty cool. Yeah.
What do you talk about during a commercial with the President of the United States? Like, do other people rush over and monopolize him, or is it just you and him sitting there?
We're just sitting there. He asked me like how I met my wife and stuff like that, and he was really like, he's acted like he was interested in me. I don't know if but he's very presidential. He's very charming, and he said, how'd you meet your wife? I said, we met in this movie Fever Pitch. He produced this movie. He goes, this is about a guy who loves baseball, but he also loves his girlfriend. He's not sure which one to choose. He goes, oh, I remember that movie. I didn't see it, but I go, you remember you chose not to see it? It was campaign time. I go, it was not campaign time.
Yeah, that's worse.
Was that years before you campaign?
He knows about it but didn't see it. That's
Yeah,
bad. There's
that's
a reason.
the worst.
How great would it be if he tore you up for it? Weak writing, weak acting.
He really criticized the movie. I'd rather you don't watch it next time. Yeah,
You're having an argument with him during the commercial break.
Yeah, at least he was honest with me. But
Come back from spots, you're yelling at each other.
He's great to everybody. He's great to every single person on the staff, and shook hands and said hello, and he's just and they look you right in the eye, and it's a powerful moment.
There's something about
Gets
those.
in the limo, shuts the door. Glad we're out of that fucking place.
Yeah, your microphone's still on.
Bunch of assholes.
Those guys like Clinton and those guys and all these anyone elected to that office, you just know how to own a room. I mean, like, it's amazing to me the charisma of these guys. You can't not like one of those guys when you meet them.
Right. Yeah, it's just charming. Yeah,
It's part of the whole package.
It's
Yeah,
part
you
of the
need
politics of it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met Bush or no?
No.
Okay.
We got to get to the album.
Yes.
We haven't even mentioned it yet. Blow Your Pants Off. We played a track, History of Rap. I loved it.
That's a good one.
I didn't see that on the show. to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
that is really
We did
fucking
with
cool.
Justin Timberlake.
That costs us a lot of money to get that
I
on
can
the
imagine all the
album.
rights,
Oh,
right?
man.
All the
right?
clearances for that. It was like 15 rap songs, from the 80s until now, plus Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Doing one of the voices. I mean, he's a good sport to do that stuff. That came about. He was coming on the show, and we were gonna sing a song or do some, type of Barry Gibb bit or something like that. And he goes, "Let's switch." He goes, "Let's do maybe like something like sing our favorite rap songs in a medley. Like the Humpty Dance is your chance, do the hump." And I'm like, and then I just started going like, "Well, stop what you're doing." Then we started rapping. Then I just going like, "It takes two to make a thing go right."
Yeah.
Then we just started doing a medley. And then it was just like, great, we'll write this up.
This is what we're doing,
So
yeah.
we had writers write it up, and we did it on the show, and it went, like we said earlier, it went super viral.
Yeah, it did.
On the web, and it was like crazy viral, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, Justin called me from France, and he goes, because he was promoting Social Network. He goes, dude, I'm in France, and we're on the front page of this French newspaper for History of Rap. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I can't believe like they know who I am in France. And he goes, no. I'm Justin Timberlake. Like, yeah, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. He just lied to me. For a second, I felt like, they love him like Jerry Lewis. I'm like a big phenomenon in France. They go, now they don't know who you are. I'm Justin. I was like, whatever. Like,
whatever. It sounded really good. Like the impressions of
are right on
the guys.
Oh my God.
The Beasties one was like dead on, man.
I mean, they're my favorites. Yeah,
amazing. Really good.
Yeah. All this. I mean, a lot of all the musical stuff we do is because we're fans of the groups and stuff like that. So it's like we don't want to, ruin the song for anybody. Even though if we do a parody of it, like, if we do Tim Tebow and David Bowie as one human, T Bowie.
Yep.
We don't want to screw up the song so that every time you hear it you go, but we just want to make you laugh and go like, that's a weird combo.
Yeah.
And of course, why didn't we think of that? Of course, T Bowie is exactly what we should do. And they were playing it in Boston. I got the stadium and stuff. Yeah. Trying to throw Tebow off like they're playing it.
Oh man.
It was just crazy. It was just it's the most exciting we had a crazy couple years, but especially the last year has just been nuts.
So you're beyond the fear of like losing it all. Like it's here to stay, and you're doing really well, and it's not going to just
never take it for granted.
Yeah, you never know.
No, but I mean,
pride cometh before the fall, or something.
Yeah, well, pride goeth before destruction.
Cometh.
You guys had it all, and then lost it all.
See what happens?
Yes, thanks for reminding us.
Yes.
Got it all back. Oh, you got it all.
Still
now we have nothing, and we're losing that.
We got some of it back, Jimmy. You kidding me?
No, you got
We're
it.
still waiting.
Oh,
What is Roland
Roland.
doing? We're having
What
a
are
good
you
time
doing?
with Jimmy Fallon. You got to go, Jimmy.
He's got.
But he has his guitar and everything.
oh
I
man.
got bits. I'll do bits next time I come back.
You will?
I always do bits. I love you guys, and you guys always been good to me.
Well, the album is called Jimmy Fallon, Blow Your Pants Off. We, like you said, played the song earlier, and it's on, I guess, on iTunes or in the
all
store.
that stuff. I don't even know where you buy records anymore. It's like,
I know, right?
Really quick, how's Eddie Vedder? I'm a big Pearl Jam fan. Is he?
I
Got
mean-
anything on Eddie Vedder?
No dirt on Eddie.
No,
Vedder.
not like that. Just as a human being.
He's exactly as cool as you want him to be.
He
Has
is.
the flannel thing. He has his shorts. He's just cool. He's a rock star.
Right.
And you meet him, I go, would you like to do the song? We're doing a protest song about the BP oil spill where we're talking about the tar balls that are floating up on the beach. And the name of the song is Balls in Your Mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. And he was like, no thanks. Appreciate it, though. Thank you so much. No thanks. I was like, all right, that's cool. So then I go, can you just, do you just want to just watch rehearsal and then just see what we're doing? He's like, okay, sure. Like he's he's a great guy, as I said. So we watched rehearsal, and I said, here's where I want you to, like, so I go like, balls in your mouth, don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. And I was like, balls in your mouth, don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. And he was like, and if you want, you could just swing around the camera and just give it full on Eddie Vedder, like, balls in your mouth, don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. And he started laughing. He was like, I'll do that. Cool. Yeah, so right there, he's like, oh, man. And then he did it, and gosh, the crowd, they didn't know that he was going to come out.
Right.
Doing my song. They're like, oh, that's probably just a Jimmy song. He's going to sing some song with the Roots. And then Eddie came from, it looked like he was a cameraman, and he flipped from behind the camera and then just sang right into the lens and balls in your mouth, and everyone went nuts. And it was like, oh, it was great.
You're like the guy that could that has to like talk someone into throwing an M80 down the toilet, and like at first it's like nah. It's like, no, dude, it's gonna be so much fun.
Everyone flush the urinal at the same time.
Yeah.
we're gonna break the system.
It's gotta be like nerve-wracking though to have to approach these guys with these ideas. Like, look, you're gonna love this.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
Eddie,
that's
balls, man.
Well, I just say, I was like, honestly, we do it out of love and out of fun, and we don't want to make anyone look stupid.
Sure.
So when you're done with it, you win. You know, everyone gets a clear win at the end. So that's kind of what I think people see when we do our bits. They go,
it just looks like fun, man.
Care of us,
yeah. Very cool. Roland is actually literally pissing his pants. Yeah.
Well, Jimmy's got Blow Your Pants Off, new album in stores, iTunes, Amazon now, and Thank You Notes 2 is out too, right?
That's out too. I got a lot of stuff to sell.
And of course, Jimmy Fallon, one of the best on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's just an animal on Twitter, Jimmy Fallon.
You guys
always a pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you so much, man.
So good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me back.
Blessed.
Jimmy,
Come back and
good
see
man.
us soon.
Absolutely.
The Opie Sirius XM.